Thank you very much. We are here again uh, talking about the minimum wage, raising the minimum wage to $35 an hour. We're so excited about our movement as we continue to march in the city of Atlanta, Georgia, about the minimum wage of $35 an hour and give a stimulus to the small business throughout the United States. We're so happy about it. We've been working with a few of our senators, United States senators, and talking about. We have started a conversation about the minimum wage as being $35 an hour, and that is so important to America. I believe that we need to understand that if you look at when we had the experience of going through COVID and going through all the situations that previous condition, over 1 million people died. Uh, the American people have been through so much, and I believe that when you talk about what the American people have been through, you have to think that there's a lot of people out here has mental health problems, and we need to really look at solutions. And we feel like this is the solution, and we also feel like this is the conversation in 2023 to increase the minimum wage at $35 an hour throughout America. And this will encourage people to work and stop going up on inflation. I think that inflation has been so out proportion. Just too much of this going on across this nation, and we never have incentive to encourage the American people. The American people have worked so hard for so many years, and it just seems like there's no uh, way out. Uh, People are depressed. There are more people having nervous breakdown, being bankrupt, foreclosing on their homes, and repossession of their cars, and there are more divorces, and there's so much that is happening in this era that we're in now that is oppressing the people. But when you talk about $35 an hour, you talking about people running to work, people want to work, people will love this country, people will thank God for America. This will shock the world when we can do this. It's just so sad that we cannot find no uh, solution towards the guns and all this that's going on. But I promise you that we'll have less shooting, we'll have more people working, and this will make a great change. Now, we just marched this past the 1st of July. Now, our next march will be the 8th of July. We start at 9 o'clock in the morning. It's very pleasant out there. It's not even hot. And and we start at Woodruff Park, and we have a word of prayer before we leave out towards Fulton County Courthouse. But on our way to Fulton County Courthouse, something has really been taking a toll on the march as we march. And that is that when we approach underground Atlanta, downtown Atlanta, we get to underground. And underground, over 200 years ago, they had slaves there. They were shackled. They had changes around the ankle, around the neck, and they was whipped and they was auctioned off and sold as slaves. And when you go down there, you just have to, when we walk by there, we just feel the spirit, and we have to just stop and just it's such our ancestors. You can feel their spirit, and so I talked to one of our senators, and which was his committee of not him himself, Raphael Warnock, our senator, and we talked, and I told them about underground Atlanta slave museum, where we can feel the spirit of our ancestors. That's what we want to build and start a museum there. Underground Atlanta Slave Museum, where we can feel the spirit of our ancestors right there at underground. People are going to be coming from all over the nation. It's going to wake up downtown. It's going to get downtown back up again. We need something like this here. And we just cannot forget about our ancestors. And we need to do this. This is going to wake up the whole nation, especially when they talk about Roe v. Wade that he turned it back and all that. But something of this that is real, that really happened. This is our history of Atlanta, Georgia. Something that really happened. And you just have to just go down there, go down in that area, and you just really just meditate. You can feel the spirit of our ancestors right there at underground Atlanta. And when we leave there, we go to Fulton County Courthouse. And you ought to see hundreds of people that are already out there. And we pray again. We have another word of prayer right there at Fulton County Courthouse. And it's just something that when we get there, people's there waiting, and they are like they are just caught up in something that they don't know how to get out of. But we must have compassion for these people and pray for them and pray for all those that are out there that's giving them aid and helping them in many, many ways. It's just a beautiful thing to march and to be a part of something that's really about your own self. When we march for ourselves, and that's what it's all about. I talked with another AD, AP police officer right here in Atlanta, Georgia, and he told me that he liked what we are doing, especially the truck that we have on there, $35 an hour. So it's just good to be encouraged and to get these kind of comments from people in the city of Atlanta. We get people waving at us, blowing their horn. Appreciate that we are doing something in this city and doing something that it will make a model of the whole nation, that the whole nation that can recognize that this is something that desperately need done, and that is to increase the minimum wage to $35 an hour and stop going up on inflation and give the small business a stimulus of $35. That's what we want to do. And we also just spoke about building a, uh, a museum at Underground Atlanta and slaves, and because we can feel the spirit, a museum right here in Atlanta, Georgia. We must not forget. And when we leave Fulton County Courthouse, we go just another block over, and we right at the City Hall. I've never seen, if it's any more cities like this here, I'd like to know, because it's so beautiful that you just one block from Fulton County and another block to the City Hall and another block to the state capitol. Then we make a speech right there at the City Hall, and then we make a great conversation about $35 an hour here in United States of America. I want to say this here. You know, when you think about United States of America, it's telling us that we supposed to be united. And it seemed to me that when you're fighting in separatism and you got two different parties, three different parties, but one party is fighting against the other party. It keeps us in a rage that we cannot focus on one thing. But it's one thing about it, that here in the city of Atlanta, there is something that is over the cloud of shooting the guns, and that's all over this nation. But I promise you that a lot of people will put these guns down when we increase the minimum wage to $35 an hour. I talked to some college students, and do you know 4 and 5 of them living in one apartment in order to put their money together so they can afford their rent? You know, it's just sad. It's just sad that we can't recognize how important that it is to to understand that people will do better, people will live better, and people will get along with one another much better, and they will have compassion for one another by increasing the minimum wage. It's never been done like this. And we do have the money to do it. It ain't like that we don't have the money to do it. We do have the money to do it. Now, $35 an hour, these young people, everybody receive $35 an hour. A lot of these young folks, they're going to invest their money, they're going to spend this money, and that's what's going to help the economy, and that's what's going to put this country back on their feet. People can invest, and it will help this country when we are being paid more. We feel like that we've been mistreated. We feel like that our politicians, they don't have concern about us. They don't have compassion for us. We feel like this country don't have enough compassion for the people, because the minimum wage right now in the state of Georgia is $7.25. And it is sad that we as a nation of people, that the minimum wage has been stagnated so long, since 2009. That's a long time since you have increased the minimum wage. But everything goes up except the minimum wage. So it's something wrong with that. Something is desperately wrong with that. Now, I want to take a little time out to speak about our new game that we have. I've been working on this game over 5 years, and it's called America True Prosper Game and Benefits, where 100 people will win $10,000 a day in every state, in every zip code in America. Uh, all you play is $5 and $2, and the whole family can play. Now, I want you to know that our young people are spending millions of dollars a day on the internet, playing games, video game, whatever they're playing. They're paying a lot of money. But when you can play this game here, where you can win $10,000 for your family or yourself, everyone can play, and it's automatically everyone can get benefits from it. And these benefits, the money that we raise by playing the game, will go towards health care, child care, college education, and SNAP food stamp for the American people, those that need it. So we have to understand is that we must make a change. We have money. We have a whole lot of $5. We have a whole lot of $2 that we can play on the internet towards the America True Prosper Game and Benefits and how it will help us all. So again, we want to invite you again uh, 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 this coming Saturday, which will be the 8th of July. We're going to have a word of prayer in the beginning of the march at Winter Park, and then we leave from there, and we go uh, uh, by Underground Atlanta, and this is where we want to build uh, uh, underground Atlanta Slave Museum, where we can feel the spirit of our ancestors. And also, uh, after we leave there, we do pause there for a minute. And after we leave there, we go to Fulton County Courthouse, and where there are hundreds of people that are already there. And we have a word of prayer there. Uh, and it's just a beautiful thing that time of morning, and to see so many people out there, and people they just they enjoy it. And then when we leave there, we go just one block over to the city hall, and where we just have a word about the minimum wage, $35 an hour, how we want our government, how we want the United States, that we supposed to be united to increase the minimum wage of $35 an hour and stop growing inflation and give the incentive to small businesses, all small businesses, and a stimulus of $35 an hour. And then we leave there and we go to continue the conversation at our state capital, right downtown, just one block over. And we just enjoy this every Saturday. And that's, I want all of you to know, we're doing it every Saturday. Come out and enjoy us, bring the whole family out, and we'll look to see you. And God bless you. And thank you very much. Thank you very much. We are glad to come back again. We've been talking about the minimum wage of being raised to $35 an hour here in the United States. The minimum wage has been stagnated since 2009. And we want to give small businesses a stimulus of $35 an hour. This will change the way the American people feel about this nation. People have been hurting. They their spirit has been broken. Uh, they can't never get a helping hand towards the a pay raise. It's more or less like we've been carrying this nation for so many years, and it shows that the nation don't appreciate the people, and they show it by stagnating the minimum wage across America. Right now, here in America, 3 and 4 and 5 students, college students, have to stay in one apartment in order to put their money together in order to afford the rent in this country. We noticed that uh, what the president asked for the for forgiveness of the loans for college students. Uh, the Supreme Court went against it. Uh, they went against the Roe v. Wade, turned us back over 60 years. And it's just sad for a nation that we have people with key positions like the Supreme Court, and they are able to do the things that they're doing and never work with the American people as trying to keep uh, peace and keeping people united. And this is what our nation is called, United States of America. They keep this nation divided on the way that they make decisions and the way they do things. And then you say that this is the right way to do, but you're not showing compassion towards the American people, and it leaves all kind of a bad taste in your mouth about your Supreme Court and the way that they're doing things. And then, like, they don't make mistakes. They are making mistakes with taking money from donors and people that is giving them money, and they're taking expensive trips and doing all kind of things, but yet they voice is still strong. And like, don't nobody make no mistakes at the Supreme Court, but the people do make mistakes because we all make mistakes. But that gives no reason for this nation to continue not give the people a raise in this country. That's what's causing all the chaos in this country, all the mass shooting and all this. People never do have enough. Everybody's straining. They're taking from you all the time. All kind of things. They got all kind of calls that's coming to your phones, and people coming after you, hacking your phone and hacking your computer, and there's so much going on. Repossession of your cars and foreclosure on your homes, and they at the courthouse steps, auctioning off your home, and it's just so much that they're doing. Uh, with your cars not financed right, it's just so much going on to keep the American people in strain. So much. You have to have insurance and all this that are pulling towards the little money that you do have. And this government, uh, you can do better towards your people by paying them and getting this economy on the move, because people will work if they get enough money, if they can have enough money. People will work. And we just want the America people to understand, keep the faith. Hope is live, it's real. And we got to keep on doing what we're doing. And that's what we're doing now. We are marching every Saturday here in the city of Atlanta. We start at Woodruff Park downtown at 9 o'clock. And we are marching for $35 an hour. And we're asking this government to stop going up on inflation and give small business a stimulus of $35. It is important that we work with the people and we come together and unite. That's what our country is called, United States of America. And we need to unite this country by giving them more money to work with and to help the people of this nation. More or less is that we're doing so much as keeping up division than anything in America. And I want to say a few words about uh, our new game that we have introduced to United States of America. And it's called America True Prosper Game and Benefits. It is a true game. This is not no lottery game. This don't have anything to do with the lotteries that's in these different states that's going on. This is America True Prosper Game and Benefits. This is America game where you can win $10,000 a day in every state, in every zip code throughout America. Just only play $5 and $2. Everyone can play. Our young people are spending over $1 million a day on the computer playing games and things. But you can play this game here. The whole family can play, and you can win $10,000 for your family or yourself. And I want to say this here is that we're talking about America True Prosper Game and Benefits. Where the benefits come is that we want to help with health care and child care and college education and SNAP food stamps for all America that is in need of the SNAP food stamps. We want to be a helping hand for America. This is with our own money that we can do this and to make life better for ourselves. I've already been talking with our congressman. I've had a Zoom call, a call with our United States Senator, Raphael Warnock. And they sent in, I was able to talk and tell them about this new game. And also increasing the minimum wage to $35 an hour. We got to come on with this here. This will change America. This will give us incentive. People will love the work. People will do right. And we will come together because we know that this is the way to go by doing it. And I want to say this here is that when we start our march at 9 o'clock, that'll be this Saturday morning at 8 o'clock. We're going to have prayer at Woodward Park. When we leave Woodward Park, we're going to come to Underground Atlanta. We're going to walk by there, but we're going to stop at Underground Atlanta because that over 200 years ago, this is where slaves were. They were auctioned off slaves, our ancestors, where they had them shackled with changes around their ankles and their neck. And they was whipped and put on the auction block and sold, our ancestors. And we want to build Underground Atlanta Slave Museum, where the spirit of our ancestors are at, right there in Underground Atlanta. We want to make a skeptical of yachts and just the way it was back there over 200 years ago. This is going to be a museum. And this is in the future here in the state of Georgia. We look at Roe v. Wade. The Supreme Court turned it back. Then they want to change the forgiveness of loans that President Biden started. They're doing everything to keep us back, keep us divided here in this country, when this is all of our country. In every state capital in this country, Black people, Black men, African American built them. Even the state capital here in Atlanta, Georgia, African American built it. But yet you want to continue to hold us back when it's just so simple for us to continue to work and do the will of the American people, where we can all unite together and be together. I want you to know that I moved to Atlanta in 1982. That's when they was building the Jimmy Carter, President Jimmy Carter Library. That's when I moved here to Atlanta. I've been in Atlanta over 40 years. But I want you to know one thing, that I am an ordained minister. And it's just something about Underground Atlanta, where they auction off slaves there. But I want you to know one thing is that, being from Mississippi, I knew Charles Everett, which was Medgar Everett's brother. We all was good friends down there in Mississippi. I remember when Dr. King came to Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And that's where I'm from. And he spoke at Mount Zion Baptist Church. I was at the age of 14 years old. I was one of the youngest ministers in there. I remember Dr. King and all his colleagues, they were sitting around the table. And they made a joke about fried chicken. And these are things that I've never forgotten. But I know one thing. I believe that has taken a toll of me through all these years. And that's why I'm so concerned about the minimum wage being $35 an hour, and stop going up on inflation, and give a stimulus to small business of $35 an hour. Someone asked me, what about the young folks? By them, they bagging grocery and all that, you gonna give them $35? Sure, very sure. Because that they have families, they are citizens of this great country of ours. And if they work like anybody else, they deserve to make the $35 an hour across this nation. So, and they're going to spend that money. These young people are going to spend that money. And that's what's going to help us in this economy because we need to make money and we need to spend money. That is the American way. We thank you. God bless you. We're going to keep doing what we're doing, marching up the King's Highway. We sung a song out there the other day. Ain't gonna let nobody, Lordy, turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody, Lordy, turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, marching up the kingdom land. We'd be singing, we'd be marching, we'd be having a beautiful time out there. It's just a beautiful thing to just be marching and looking forward to see what the future gonna bring. We know, we believe, we have the faith, we have the confidence that the minimum wages must increase. We want people to put these guns down. Let's give them the minimum wage of $35 an hour. Let's do that. And let's stop going up on inflation. And let's don't be what you would call prejudiced about the money, who gets the money. Anybody should be able to work and make $35 an hour. And this will change America. We'll get along better and we'll love our nation. We'll love our country and we'll work together. And people will love to work when they know they're getting paid. God bless you and God keep you. And we'll look to see you Saturday morning, the 8th of July. We'll be marching. We'll be marching and singing and about the minimum wage being $35 an hour. Increase the minimum wage and stop going on inflation and give small business a stimulus of $35 an hour. God bless you and may God keep you. Thank you very much.